everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenna. I have posted videos before but I've deleted them because they are embarrassing, and this one could be embarrassing too. But today I thought I would show you some of the books that I read all of the books that I read in January, because it's halfway through February now, but I haven't finished my reading for February and I haven't actually read that many books. But I just thought it would be a good video to film because I wanted to film a YouTube video. Also, I'm really sorry if you can hear my dog barking. She's being really annoying, and she barks a lot. But I've got, like, if you can see like a wire, I'm not sure if you can see that there. It's because I've got my headphone like tucked in my cardigan, because you know how you can, like, you know how it's like a microphone. So I thought I'd try that and see if it can cancel out any of the noise. But I'm gonna try and film when like they're going on their walks. They don't take themselves, like my dad takes them. I did just want to film this video because I was excited to do it. So I'm just going to get right into it. So I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, I think. I'm going to link my Goodreads. I think you can link, like, so you can like follow me on Goodreads, or we can be friends or whatever. So I can, like, so you can see what I'm reading. Haven't actually read that much like this month, but you know the month isn't over yet. But I'm just going to get into it because I'm rambling now. So the first book I read is Stolen by Lucy Christopher. I've just got my notes down here if you're wondering like why I'm looking down there. But this is about Gemma, who was kidnapped from an airport, and she's like swept away to the Australian desert by, I think his name is Ty. Am I correct saying? I can't find it, but I think his name is Ty. And yeah, it's written as a letter to him. On the back it says, "This is my story, a letter to my captor." And it's kind of like a weird one. The reason I say this is because she kind of forms a friendship / romance kind of vibe with him. And I feel like that's really weird. Like, it's not weird. I'm like, Stockholm Syndrome is a thing. But it was kind of weird to read about, especially as he's like made out to be this like really attractive guy, and he seems like nice, which obviously what he's done is like awful. But yeah, I found that aspect of it really, really weird to read it. I'm really sorry if you can hear people talking. But he's like a bad guy / good guy, like it's really confusing. So if you're like, I'd check the like trigger warnings for it if you want to read it, just because it's like, I guess like, obviously the connotations of like with kidnapping is quite like you know what I mean. So I checked the trigger warnings, but overall like I really enjoyed like I'm saying like so much. I really enjoyed the description of like what was going on, and I liked the letter kind of format. But I did keep on falling asleep while reading it, but I don't actually think that's because of the book. I think that's more because of like I was on the sofa with blankets and stuff. It took me longer to read than some of my other ones, but overall I gave it 3 stars because I didn't hate it. I did quite enjoy reading it. But yeah, that is Stolen by Lucy Christopher. So the next book I read is Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins, which is like second in the series of the Anna and the French Kiss books. I have to admit I didn't enjoy this, but I absolutely love Anna and the French Kiss. It's one of my absolute favourite books. It's kind of what got me into reading in December, because I only really started reading like YA in December. I've always read kind of like classics because that's what I was initially interested in, but then I realised that I absolutely love reading YA books. However, onto this book. Lola is obsessed with like fashion and costuming. I'd say it's definitely more costuming than fashion. And she has an older boyfriend. I can't remember what his name is. It's not on the back, but it says her hot rocker boyfriend, and he's older than her. But then her neighbours, the Bell twins, I think Calliope and Cricket, I think I'm saying that's right. Cricket comes back. It starts like a romance kind of thing, but not really. And like, she absolutely hated him at the start. There's like a whole conflict thing. But I just didn't like Lola. I didn't like her as a character. And I don't really know why. I think I also didn't feel like it was that romancy. Like, I read it like a couple of like weeks ago, but I just didn't feel like I didn't feel the same reading this as I read Anna and the French Kiss. And that's such a good book. Sorry if I'm okay that. I'd really recommend reading that. I feel like loads of people have. You can get really pretty covers. It's like there, if you can see it. I don't know if you can. But yeah, I just really disliked her character. I'm hoping that Isla and the Happy Ever After is going to be better. I'm going to order that soon, once I finish reading the rest of my books. But I gave this 3.5 stars, but now I've been thinking about it, and I've like been talking to my mum about how much I hate this book. Oh, I don't hate the book, I hate the characters. And like, I don't know, I just wasn't really invested in the plot. Like, I'm not sure if it's me, but it seems like she's just done the reverse with like the coupling wise. Like, now the girl has a boyfriend and like the other guy's single. It was okay. It was a nice, easy read, but I'm not gonna gush over it. Like, I'm more like angry about it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars, but I'd give it more like a 2 or like 1.5 now. The next book I read is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, I think. Karen M. McManus. I'm going to say it confidently and hope it's right. This is literally just like a murdery breakfast club, and I absolutely love it. It's like, it was very like twisty, kind of turny. Like, I knew what happened at the end because I like a couple of years ago my friend read this and I forced her to tell me what happened, but I was still like along for the journey. It was wild, it was great. My only issue with it is kind of the character's point of view. I think the way, if I was like going to reorganise it, what I would do is I'd make each chapter a different character, just because it sort of like changes character like halfway through a chapter sometimes, and sometimes I'd accidentally skip over it, and like the characters would be doing like something, like I was like, oh, why are you like doing that? And then I'd realise like it's not the character that it was before, if that makes sense. Like, I'd be reading Cooper and then it would be like Addie, and I was like, oh, like, I don't, you know what I mean? I feel like you get what I mean. Yeah, I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4.5 stars. However, I don't think I'm like really want to read the next ones. I feel like there's 2 more of it now, which I feel like is kind of wild. Like, it's like a murder mystery kind of thing and they solve it at the end. And the only reason I would consider reading it is for Nate and Bronwyn, because they're so cute. It's such a cute coupling, and I really liked like their vibe, like the studious one and the bad boy. It was so cute, and I was so annoyed at the ending, and I'm kind of not annoyed, but that's like the only reason why I'd consider reading the other one, because I'm like satisfied with it. So I'm not like dying to read the next ones like I would be with like The Cruel Prince, which I'm absolutely dying to read the next ones of. The next book I have is Girl Interrupted by Susanna Cason. Susanna Cason. Why can't I say anything? This is a film with Winona Ryder in and Angelina Jolie. I feel like a lot of people have watched this. I'm sure a lot of people have read it as well. It's actually a memoir, which I wasn't like, I kind of knew it was, but I didn't realise that there was like her like documents in, so she got access. Susanna Cason got access to her documents, and that's sort of how she wrote it, I believe. I read this in like an afternoon. It was a really easy read, and it was like, it gave quite a lot of insight to, like, because I think it's the same like psychiatric hospital as like loads of famous people say, Sylvia Plath, Robert Lowell, James Taylor, Anne Sexton and Ray Charles. I don't know who half those people are. I know who Sylvia Plath is, but it was just like, after watching the film, it was kind of cool to read this, and it was like, it's just wild that like, obviously a lot of it in the film is dramatised, and it was nice sort of seeing the real kind of story behind it. I gave this 4 stars because it was a really easy read. Again, check trigger warnings if that's something that you need to do or you feel like you need to do, because obviously you need to intake or like read what you think you can read, and like don't force it, you know what you need to do. But yeah, it was a good read. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and yeah, I did enjoy it. So I am just editing a video now, and I realised that big brain me put my hair over the microphone, which I had such a good idea to use, so you can kind of hear like rustling throughout, so I'm really sorry about that. I really hope it doesn't like take away from like the video, but I think next time I'm going to be able to film when there's no dogs in the house, so I won't have to do that. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and I just want to say I'm sorry about that. So the next book I read is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, and this is the second in a series of To All the Boys I Loved Before. I really enjoy this series. This is like probably going to be the first series that I finish because I have the Always and Forever Lara Jean there. I'm not sure if you can see it in this bit. But I have to admit this, I did find it quite boring. I do think it's because I watched the film before. And I did watch the first film before I read the first book. But there's a lot more sort of like extra content, I guess, in the first book. I love the first book. But I don't know, I just found myself getting a bit bored. Also hated Peter in this. Because I don't know, I felt like he was just not very nice. Like he wasn't like, I think everyone wanted like a lovey-dovey, like the cuteness of it all. But I got that from John Ambrose, which I wasn't meant to do. Like that was not, like it's just, all authors I feel like go for the love triangle in the second book or something like that. But I don't know, I'm not sure if I didn't vibe with this one as much. But I am looking forward to reading the last one because I haven't watched the last film, which came out on Friday when I'm filming this. Like the Friday before I'm filming this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the last one because hopefully Peter Kay will step up his game. That is what we need. But yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I found it boring. Had no, like, I do love the series, but I was bored. Like towards the middle, I was bored. And I just wanted them, and like, is it Genevieve? Genevieve just needs to leave. I said it because I just want them happy, and I feel like I just want people to be happy, and she was creating issues. So the next book I read is The Belts Are by Meg Wolitzer, and this is technically kind of the start of my readathon. The first full book I read during the day, so I started by reading P.S. I Still Love You, which I'd already read like 8 pages of. Then I read this one, and this is about Jam Gallahue, I think her name is, and she goes to like this school after she's had a traumatic incident with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend has died, basically, and she gets chosen to be part of a special English class where they're given journals, they're given the book Bell Jar, and like a whole like thing happens. I swear to God, the twist in this, I should have expected it. It's something that I should have expected, and I didn't. So I was like shook. Shook. But I haven't really seen many people talk about this book. I'm not sure if I'm just not looking in the right places. I have deleted TikTok now, but when I was on there, nobody had like said anything about it. I gave it a 3.5. I always have a soft spot for like English classes and English teachers. I feel like that stems from a Perks of being a wallflower, but I just think it's really sweet when people have like, not like special relationships, but like really like cute relationships with English teachers. Or any teachers at all, because I just think that's really important to have. I did feel bad for her throughout. Oh, I just shook the microphone thing. But some of the things I just didn't care about. Like, I understand that everyone, like, trauma is different for everybody, which is something that's probably universally acknowledged. But I didn't care about the goats. If you've read it, you probably know what I mean by that. But I don't know, I didn't care. And I should have. I cared about the characters, but I don't know. It just seemed like it was a good book. I'm just going to say that. It was a good book. I enjoyed it. I read it quickly. Just some of it I just didn't care for that much. I gave it a 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it. I would recommend it. Again, check the trigger warnings for it because it is sort of about mental health and trauma and how people sort of cope with it, I guess. But if you feel comfortable reading it, I really would read it. It was quite an interesting book. It was a nice fast read. Wouldn't say it's easy reading because it definitely is quite sad, but the twist is good. I would read it for the twist. So yeah. Okay, my phone stopped recording, so I'm sorry if it's like changed position, so I will probably keep checking on that, but I'll try and cut it out. But basically, next book I read is Shiva, and I did not like this book one bit. I know I have to keep checking it now because I'm really paranoid that it's turned off filming. But, so basically, Grace was attacked by wolves when she was younger, and there was this like one special wolf, and she like sees it everywhere. And then he turns into a man. But she's like obsessed with this wolf in like a weird way. And like it's kind of about the relationship. This boy is killed by wolves. I don't think this is a spoiler because it's kind of like the lore of the wolves. But it's called Shiva because when they get cold, they turn into wolves. And they sort of turn back less and less as they get older, which obviously causes problems as this wolf has just fallen in love with this girl. I have to admit, I absolutely hate this book. I gave it 2 stars and I really should have given it 1. So basically, I feel like I could do a whole rant review on this. So if that's something anybody would like, please comment down below because I will reread it and I will tab it and I will point out every bit I hate because I feel like it's quite like universally disliked. But it's like the author was thinking like, it's like Twilight on werewolf steroids. So everything moved really fast and I didn't care. I'm reading my notes because they're down here. He kept on singing and making song lyrics, which I don't think was necessary. He didn't need that. His character, like he was like fighting this other wolf and he was thinking about like song lyrics, like I was like gagging, like it was so bad. And the parents in it were really weird. Like the parents were together and they just ignored her. So the author was like trying to make her all like, my parents don't love me, and him all like tortured and I can sing, but like it wasn't needed at all. Like there was other things that she could have done. And that's why I'm saying it was like too much. But I feel like it came out in the era of Twilight, and I can't think what other ones there are now. Just like the werewolfy kind of vibes. However, I kind of want to read. I've got the free trial of Scribd, so I kind of want to read the next 2 just to see what happens and just to see how cringy they are because I like doing that. I like putting myself in pain apparently. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you want like a cringy fast read, it was kind of like fan fiction. It felt like fan fiction, and it didn't feel like it was planned, and it all felt like it was going too fast. But if that's something you're into, read it. Also, if you want like a rant review, let me know. Then we have Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think that's correct as well. I really hope I'm saying these correctly. I think if I say them with confidence, then they'll sound correct. But if I am wrong, somebody correct me. So this is the last book that I read on the first day of my readathon. And I got like 50 pages in. And then I continued it the next. I have to admit, I really did enjoy this book. I do kind of like the mystery, crimey kind of one. So I gave this 3 stars. And I did predict the ending. I feel like, where did I write it down? I think I wrote it down on Notion, like what I thought the ending was going to be. And I kind of got it right. And I was really, really proud of myself, actually, that I got it right. But it's about Samantha Franco, who, like, her and her best friend go missing. And she turns up again, but she has no recollection of what happened at all. And it's kind of about the mystery of what happens to her friend. I have to admit, the friends in it, like her other mean girl friends, were horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And for the main guy, I can't remember what his name was, but I pictured him as Noah Beck, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing because he's not like bad looking, but then I just couldn't get it out of my head, and then I was very, very aware that I was picturing Noah Beck while I was reading it. But it reminds me of Genuine Fraud. So if you've read that, you potentially might like this. Definitely the same like mean girl goes missing kind of vibes. How many times have I had kind of vibes? However, I would have enjoyed to see more of Sam and more of Cassie before, but I think that's kind of the point, that we're only seeing it from Sam's point of view. Now she's like this new, like fresh person, and I did quite enjoy like how she kind of became friends, like kind of returned back to who she was before she was like corrupted by like the mean girls, which was, I don't know, I guess that's nice for her friends. I gave this 3.5, 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I would recommend it if you like kind of murdery, mystery kind of things. So yeah, it was a good read overall, a nice quick read, and yeah, I did enjoy it. So this is the last book I read of my sort of readathon. Yeah, it is recording. Is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. This is about a girl called Belly, and she goes, I think her name's Belly, Isabel. She goes to like her family friend's beach house, and with her brother, her mum, and her friends her mum's best friend and her 2 sons, Jeremiah and Conrad. This was like a really easy read, however it was snowing outside, so it did feel weird reading like a beachy book. But I also didn't feel like there was much of a love triangle between Conrad and Jeremiah. Obviously not between them, but with Belly. Like, it didn't feel that way at all. But yeah, it's a really good summer holiday read. I wouldn't recommend reading it when it's snowing because it doesn't really get like the vibe. But I did really enjoy it. But it was just a nice read. There was nothing special about it at all. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed just seeing what I read in January. I'm hoping to do a February wrap up. However, it will be significantly smaller because I haven't read as many books. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see any like specific content from me, like just comment it down below, and I will see what I can do if I can, you know, just give me video suggestions if you have any. Yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, do whatever if you want to, and yeah, have a lovely day. Bye bye.